any car that you can convert, any ordinary vehicle that you can convert to CNG?
Yes, every car, every 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, and V8 cars can be converted to use so biofuel basically can use both your normal petrol and then it can use CNG as well.
So it's not as if you're throwing away your petrol tank?
No, not at all.
Okay. Now, how do you have to work on the engine?
Okay, you don't work on the engine. You only, it's an add-on. It's an add-on. It's just something you add to it. So what it then does is it controls, you have what you call the reducer. It controls the flow of petrol. And then if you want to switch from petrol, that's PMS, to CNG, you can just click a button and it switches to CNG.
Why would I want to switch if the gas is cheaper?
Yeah, well, currently we don't have enough dispensing points in the country. I think
for the gas.
For CNG.
Oh, wait a minute. Isn't CNG like going to buy domestic gas?
No, it's not. Yes, CNG is a different kind of gas. CNG basically is the C in the NG, which is natural gas, is compressed natural gas. So for natural gas engines, or rather to get natural gas, you need to go to special filling stations. Currently, you have only, I don't know if I can mention the companies.
No, you can't mention them.
Okay, so there are certain points where you can get, but there are very few. I think in Lagos, I think you have only about 1 point where you can get natural gas.
Oh, okay. Do you have a tank? Do you carry a tank in your car?
Yes, you have to carry a tank. You have to carry a CNG tank.
So that would reduce your boot space.
It will naturally reduce your boot space.
Now, okay, so I have something that indicates if I have fuel. Do I have an indicator to know, or is there a device?
There is a device installed along with the kit. Yes.
With the kit.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Wow. And you're sure it's any car?
Any car can be converted as long as it's a petrol engine. In fact, diesel engine cars can be converted as well.
Does it reduce the performance and efficiency of the car?
It doesn't. It doesn't reduce it in any way. The only thing to note is because petrol, the car is originally designed to be a petrol PMS, to be driven on PMS. So the engine is already set in that format, in that way. But by the time you introduce gas, gas is a bit slower, but by the time
so you get a bit of a drag.
There's a bit of a drag when you use CNG.
Oh, okay, because see, I'm a car buff.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's one of the reasons why I can't take public office, because if I shop money, it's cars. I don't like cars to show off. I love cars as a kid, and it's something that has just refused to disappear. So I'm so conscious of the performance. I drive a V8 vehicle for the simple reason that I'm not going to be speeding up the highway, but I like quick acceleration. I like to know that my car can move 0 to, that kind of a thing. So this gas will slow me down.
It won't slow you down, but it will take only a few seconds compared to
then it will peak.
Yes, and it will peak. And once it peaks, it goes very fast.
And so you're absolutely sure that it doesn't affect the engine in any manner?
It is only an add-on. That's why if we had to tinker with the engine, it's a totally different thing.
You don't go to the engine at all?
The engine at all.
Where do you pass the gas to?
You pass... Where you pass the gas just enters
the tank.
Sorry, let me get your question correctly.
The tank is in the boot.
Yes, your gas tank is in the boot. Yes.
Where does the pipe from that tank goes where?
It goes into the combustion chamber, into your injector.
Injector?
Yes.
So what do I do? Because the injector was made for only maybe 1 or 2 whatever. So are you going to take one out?
No, you're not taking one. So very good question. very, very good question. So there's what you call, there's a switch, right? And then in the process of installing your kit, your CNG kit, there's what you call calibration. Now, calibration helps you regulate when the volume of petrol coming into the injector system, and then you can pause that and then also regulate. That's what the regulator does.
Okay.
Then it determines how much gas comes in, when gas comes in. So it switches and it's automatic. It's an automatic device. It switches. So when you switch from gas to PMS,
Yes.
what happens is it stops the flow of gas and then switches back to PMS, and then it brings in the exact volume of petrol that is required for the engine to run.
And there's no conflict. It is
conflict. That's
seamless.
why it's seamless.
If there was a
totally
conflict,
seamless.
you wouldn't say so, though, because I assume you do this on a commercial
I
basis.
do. I'll send you a clip personally. I'll send you a clip so you can see the switch.
The switch.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, this is one question I'm sure people are dying. Let me take a look. Okay, they are not here yet. Get your questions ready. I'll soon be letting you call in. How much will this thing cost?
Currently, for conversions, so I'm going to explain it this way. There's a particular company that has waivers, right? The waivers are going to help us. If the federal government allows us to get in the kits, the accessories, and the cylinders, right, at a very, very reduced rate, or if they can just remove that, so the duty, the levy, and the VAT that is attached to your imports comes to about 67.5%. That's very high for CNG. We don't manufacture those kits here. We don't manufacture the.
So roughly, how much would it cost to convert a car?
That's where I'm going with this. If we have waivers, it can come as low as 150 to 200,000.
You're kidding me.
Yes. But currently, even the company that has a waiver is doing it for about 470, 500,000.
So how much do I save from petrol on all this, from PMS? Because, so I put this gas in my car. I told you I drive a V8, so I probably will be using an average of a quarter tank a week for with the traffic and everything these days. You're not even too sure. But you use the average of a quarter tank going to work and coming back, going to 1 or 2 wakekeepings and funerals and so on and so forth. If I now put in this gas, how much would the full tank cost of the gas itself?
Well, it depends.
Every time I want to. How much is it? Do you sell gas in liters?
Gas is sold in SCM, right? It's standard cubic meter. It's because it's gas.
How much is one standard cubic meter?
So
roughly,
roughly.
Yeah.
So the last time I bought gas, I drive a V8 as well.
Yes. And you have a gas something in your car?
In my boot.
In your boot, okay.
Right. So the last time I bought gas from this company, right, it was 110 naira per SCM, which is equivalent of about 1 liter. Same.
110.
Yeah, 110.
That's a lot of savings.
Yes, a lot of savings. So if you are buying 10,000 naira in your tank for PMS, you will just be spending about 1,000. Right. 1,000.
Okay.
100.
That's just it. But
yes.
So must I always have petrol in the car? Must I always have petrol in the car when I'm driving it, even if the gas is full? Why I'm saying so is, am I going to be buying petrol and gas parallel, or I can decide to run my car on gas fully?
If you can get gas, because the kit actually converts the car to use either or. This is not. It's not
compulsory.
It's not compulsory. You don't need to use petrol, have petrol all the time. If you have enough storage for gas, you can run gas from here to Abuja if you have enough.
So, have you started production? Have you started the conversion?
Yeah,
at commercial level?
Oh yes, we're converting cars. We're converting vehicles. In fact, this past week we converted one of the coastal buses for some of these banks, the staff buses they use for. Yes, so conversion is going on,
and this has been going on now. I would assume maybe just for a few months. So we need to let it pass, for us to know whether it's free of any problem whatsoever. Because I'm a bit skeptical.
Okay.
I love it. I mean, the way it sounds, it will save me a lot of money. Who would want to save money? But I'm also afraid that I hope that it will be accident. When I say accident, I mean, don't mean accident in that form, but it will be seamless.
Uncle Jimmy, CNG is even safer than petrol and LPG. in terms of running your cars, because the tank itself, let's look at the tank for instance. The tank is steel. These are steel tanks with very, very thick layers.
So it's going to be heavy in the boot.
It's heavy. It's heavy for now. Though you have type 1 to 4 for gas cylinders, the type 1 is the heaviest. But with innovation, they have designed some of them. So type 2, for instance, the last ones we brought in are type 2. Those type 2s are lighter because they're made of carbon fiber. They are lighter than the type 1s, which are made of steel.
So if you drive an SUV, for example, then it would be at the back seat, right?
It will be at the boot, yeah. If you
no,
have
the V8 doesn't have. If it's a saloon car, no, there's space.
Yes,
but I'm also thinking that it would be within the car. That's the way SUVs are.
Yes,
are
it will be inside the car. Yes,
it'll be inside the car.
You mean. Yes,
and if the gas leaks, is it dangerous if you have your AC on?
The gas for CNG. That's why I'm saying CNG is safer.
Okay, because I'm thinking, look, if I put a jerrycan of fuel in my car and I wind up and put on the AC, it's more or less like a death sentence.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, so it's good for the saloon cars, you can put it in your boot and so on and so forth. But I'm wondering if it's an SUV where the storage, we can call it boot, but storage is right open in the car.
Yeah, okay. First of all, the hose or the pipe that carries the gas is made out of very, very strong metal. It is very, very safe because it can handle the pressure, and then the tank itself has a trigger that cuts off in case if there's temperature that hits up to a certain degree, it shuts down. It shuts down by itself.
Oh, okay.
So that is there, but talking about the cylinders, when we strap the cylinders, when we put the cylinders in the boot, we have to strap them down. So there's a metal frame that holds it in position, so it doesn't move no matter how
it's there.
And
there's no chance of a puncture or a leak.
No, not at all.
0700 993 993 993 01465 7190. Are the phones not working? The phones are working, so you can call in and ask questions about this. But surely there must be a downside to this thing. There must be one or two things you might want to warn us about. It can't be all goody-goody. Everything in life has its advantages and disadvantages.
Very true, Uncle Jimmy. One of the concerns that we have had, not that the system doesn't work well, but let's also remember that in Europe they've been using it for over 30 years. In India, I think about 40 years they've been using CNG, and it has been we have a long history of people using CNG. So
it's funny because when you said Europe, I was wondering, in England I hadn't, or in the States. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but everybody that I know, or maybe they do have it and it just hasn't come up in discussions. Yes.